Welcome to Awakening Within. I'm your host, Jill McPherson. On today's show, we are talking about energy healing, and I'm really excited to have our guest, Debra Jones, in, who's going to tell us just about that, what energy healing is, and the different forms, the different modalities of energy healing, what it does. Just really dig deep into this topic, which I think a lot of people are seeking information on today, just different ways to heal. So, welcome, Debra.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Great. So now you call yourself a Reiki Master.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's just get right into Reiki and explaining what that is, because some people sort of know, kind of know, not too sure, and we'll just really clarify exactly what Reiki is.
Yeah, there's a lot of standard answers to that question too. And when I'm asked, I like to describe it as a way to get your body to relax so deeply that you can get out of your own way and your body can actually heal itself. So using channeled energy, and I move that over to you, that you can use it so that your body can heal itself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so then what would that look like, or describe what Reiki healing session would be like?
So Reiki, a client would come in and we'd have a discussion, and they'd come to me with issues or problems, physical ailments, or things that are going on in their life. And I'm getting an idea of what's going on with them, with their energy. So we'll get up on the healing table, and it's fully clothed. It's like having a massage, but without the massage. And it's usually just hands-on healing or hands hovering over the body, and I'm moving energy around. Okay. So I'm finding out where there are blockages to the energy, and the blockages are contributing to what's going on in their life. So.
Okay. And how do you know where the blockages are? Like, is it something you see, you feel? How do you know that?
That's a great question,
okay.
And the answer is yes to all of that.
Okay.
It can be, it's really just, I have tools that can tell me. So for instance, the pendulum here, if I hold this over a chakra, an energy center, and if it is spinning, I program my crystal to tell me if it's spinning correctly, that's a balanced chakra. If it spins counterclockwise, or if it's still, or if it goes back and forth, that tells me that the energy is blocked. So that's one way of finding out. But really just tapping into information. So I kind of channel information through, and that just tells me what's going on with that person.
So in an intuitive sense, like you're just very intuitive, and you can just pick up where there seems to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you said like their chakra energy center or locations or whatever. So can you just describe a little bit about what that means?
Yeah, the chakras, there are 7 major chakras. So you've got your crown chakra at the top of your head, and it goes down basically your spine to the root chakra. And each of those chakras can determine what's going on with you in your life, with your emotional state, with your physical state, with your mental state. And so they need to be open and free for good health, basically. Okay. So if they're blocked, then you'll experience that in your life, either with things that are going on or going bad in your life, or even all the way through to physical ailments. And that can be determined by assessing a blocked chakra. You can see what's going on with that person.
So would you say the majority then of physical ailments would be a chakra blockage?
There's a correlation.
Okay.
Yeah, to every physical ailment, even in mental and emotional.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take me back to the healing table. Mm-hmm. So if you have a client on your healing table, are you touching them for Reiki work?
Hands-on healing sometimes, so might touch various parts of the body. Hands-off healing is very sensitive, so I can just scan the body, just over the body. And sometimes pulling out energy that is blocked. So there's lots of kind of movement. I'm manipulating energy in a way,
right,
to move things along, to clear any blockages and
right,
create that flow.
And do you feel that movement when you're moving your hands above them? You can feel?
Yes, and sometimes the clients can feel it too.
Right.
And sometimes they'll mention, or it feels like something's moving, something's going on, or
right,
tummies start gurgling. That's a common one,
right,
because we're unblocking all that tenseness that's usually held in the stomach area.
Right.
So they can feel it as well.
Right. And can one session do it, or is it multiple sessions, or it varies, I guess?
It varies. Sometimes one session, and sometimes, you know, a week apart if it's something really intense going on, or maybe once a month is good, or maybe for a few sessions and then you don't need to come back for a while.
Right.
But you'll kind of know what it feels like to be balanced, so
Right.
you know when it's time to do some balancing.
Right,
So
to come
to
back.
come back, exactly.
So would you say that all your life you've had this feeling of intuitiveness, or that you were sensitive to energies? So then let's go from there.
Learned it.
So how did you become a Reiki Master then?
Well, it's actually a long story, but I'll make it short.
Okay.
So basically, my life kind of turned around on me and threw me a curveball, and I had to make some conscious choices for survival in my life. So I was forced to think about, where did I want to live, who did I want to be with, and who did I not want to be with, and what was I going to do to make a living. So it was really a gift, because I was able to make some conscious choices, and I realized I wanted to make a difference. I
Right.
wanted my life to mean something. So I knew to do that I'd need to start helping people.
Right.
And so I became a feng shui practitioner, actually, and started working with energy of the environment. And then when I was doing that, very successfully making changes, I realized that it wasn't always perfect. There was something missing, and I realized it was the person that lived in the place, their energy was off.
Right.
So then I thought, well, I've got to do something about that. So I sort of found my way on the Reiki path, and it took maybe 5 years or so to become a Reiki Master. And now I teach it and help others on that path too.
Wow. So then, like, what would that involve, getting training to do Reiki? Like, did you found somebody who could train you, and then it took quite some time, because is there a time between?
Well, it's a Reiki path. It's a path with Reiki. So there's a lot of self-healing and a lot of stages to go through until you are ready to be able to pass that on to others. So you have the Reiki level 1, which teaches you what the energy is and what to do with your hands and how to move the energy a little bit. And then I progressed to Reiki level 2, which allows you to call in more intense energy, so you've got more energy to work with, and also to do distance healing, which I do a lot of now. And then that took me to maybe in 5 years down the road from there, I decided to become a Reiki Master when I wanted to be able to teach it. So you can't teach it until you're a Reiki Master, till you've kind of gotten to that point in your life that things don't bother you as much and don't take us up as much energy, right?
Right.
So
So you have to be a Reiki Master in order to train people to
that's
be
right.
in Reiki.
Yeah.
Okay. And but would you get this from, like, how did you seek somebody who could do this?
I did have a friend who taught Reiki, so I asked her about it, and she ended up being my Reiki Master and taught me all the way through to the Reiki Master level. Okay. And for anybody that's interested in doing that, I teach it too, so I teach all 3 levels.
Okay.
And so just checking out my website will give you that information and see if you're called to that.
Right, right. And so it's something that you built. So you didn't feel at first that you were overly intuitive, or that you could, sort of bring any sort of wisdom to beyond your own capabilities to a healing session. And that's something that you built on and worked on.
Yeah, exactly.
So would that give us hope, knowing then that, like, really anybody can do it?
Anybody can do it. We're all healers. We've just forgotten how.
Oh, okay.
So it really just pulls it out of you.
Right.
It's something you have within you.
Right.
That I just show you. There's some technical hand placement things, but even I don't use those anymore.
Right.
You just use your intuition.
Right.
So it's really helping you use your own intuition.
So how do your hands, being placed either on someone's body or just above, how does that get energy moving? How does that work?
Well, there is an attunement involved, a Reiki attunement, which it's what I like to describe it to my students is it's like having a radio, and you're tuning in the radio, and then you hit a station.
Right.
So the Reiki attunement gets you to that station so that it's clear, so that that Reiki energy that I had mentioned that I'm channeling can come through me. So it's really not your energy that you're using when you're doing Reiki. You are tapping into a different kind of energy. So the attunement allows you to tap into that.
Okay. And so then also explain, when you were talking about the different types of healing, you mentioned distance healing. So can you just touch on what that would mean?
Distance healing is when you do not need to be in the same vicinity as the person that needs healing. It's done with intention. So with the Reiki 2 level, you're attuned to be able to tap into, maybe describe it as an energy that you can send over the airwaves even to that person. So when I do distance healing, I go into my healing room and I imagine the person is lying on my healing table, and I can scan the table and find out their energy even with them not being there. It's very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
But do you need to know where they are physically on the planet when you're doing it?
No, you just need to know who they are. Sometimes a photograph helps just to kind of focus it, but a name and maybe a general place, but it's the intention. And when it's all set and decided upon, there's a time and a date set, then that's what we tap into. So it's really focus.
And then the client, even though the client's not there, could potentially then feel the difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I've heard a lot of really interesting comments and, you know, things that come through for me that I pass on to that person, and I can detect all kinds of things going on with that person without even knowing who they are, without ever meeting them even.
Right. So the science sort of behind that is just that everything is energy, we're energy, everything's vibrating, so that we physically don't actually have to be physically close to each other in order to have an energy influence on each other, or an exchange on each other.
Yeah, and it really doesn't matter, distance, time, vicinity, it doesn't matter. You can send Reiki to the past and to the future too.
Great. All right. We will hear more about energy healing when we come back.